a workshop on how to start on or transition to a business analyst career. Um, it's a workshop. It's today how to start or transition to a business analyst career. Just in case you don't hear me, just quickly send a message should you have a quick question and you need me to answer, just use your message button for now, because at the end of the day, everybody will have to communicate, share their thoughts, and then it can better allow us to coordinate. All right. I have not changed my profile. I'm still a man, a father, and a husband. I'm always very meticulous about this intro because of the times we are today. I'm not disrespecting anybody, but I like to always be clear that I'm a man, a father, and a husband. You guys know I'm a trained chemist. I studied applied chemistry from at Federal Polytechnic Ado Ekiti. I had HND. I came to the US to train as a pilot. And I'm an American trained pilot. I went back to college to study healthcare informatics. So I'm an informatician. I've been coaching well over 20-something years. And I decided to opt it up by becoming a certified John Maxwell coach. Currently, I work as a business and a data analyst. I've been doing that for some time now. I love it. I love doing what I'm doing. So that's the area where I'm building my professionalism. I'm a mentor. I'm also a coach, like I've said before. And then I'm the founder of Zeed Worldwide. So Zeed Worldwide is basically where I have created this platform to bridge this gap, a gap. Where we come from, a lot of people want any information, and all they do is they will go to their pastor. Their pastor basically is everything. But unfortunately, the pastor can only know so much. And sometimes some people want to pursue a certain career, but they're not able to because they don't have enough information. So I've created Zeed to be able to connect the dots for people, fill in that gap. Come in there. Right now, you have to pay to get that one-on-one interaction, or you attend the coaching and all that. But when we have significant content on the site, it might be a subscription thing or a one-time fee for the whole year. And then you are able to have access to all the content we are running there. So Zeed has come to stay. And I am glad that we are doing the best we can currently. So let's get straight into what a business analyst. All right, you see that guy right here, this guy right here with a light head. A business analyst is a person who analyzes an organization or business domain and documents its business processes, systems, assessing the business model or its integration with technology. Business analysts will help in guiding businesses in providing processes, products, services, and software through data analysis. That's from Wikipedia. Now, you see the guy right there. He does a lot of stuff. He will identify a problem. He will need to identify a need. He will need to identify a process that needs to be optimized. That's need identification. These are things I do daily as a business analyst. I do all this daily. Elicitation and collaboration. I'll tell people, they'll ask me, Wilfred, what do you do? As I connect the dots. So I basically talk to everybody, the end users, the stakeholders, team developers, name them. I'm in projects in Nigeria right now as a business analyst. When I say team, I'm in a team of like 3 projects running now in Nigeria, and I'm their business analyst. I connect them together. I'm like helping the team, both the stakeholders and the developers, to understand exactly what they are doing, what they should do, and what they should not do. So a lot of elicitation of documents, a lot of collaboration takes place in business or operation, and you need a middle person. It's always going to be a business analyst. Requirements communication. See, there is nothing you would do without brainstorming, and you can't brainstorm without gathering information. And gathering of information will come by how able are you able to gather those information. The method you're going to use, it could be questionnaire, it could be like something called JAT session, joint application development meeting. It could be through face-to-face communication. It could be through emails. But you definitely need to gather requirements. And how do you gather the requirements? Questioning. How do you know how to ask the right question? It's a skill. You need to know the background of the process, the background of the business, the insight of the company to be able to ask the right question. You need to understand the dynamics of the stakeholders, the challenges or the opportunities that the front end users or the customers are doing or facing to better know what your requirement communication will look like. Requirements modeling. How can you model something if you don't have a good understanding? That's why you see when before you say you want to become a business analyst, you have to be educated. You need some level of education before you can be able, because when you want to model something, like I do data modeling now as a data analyst, we will get to that. There are so many stuff you need to understand. You need to be literate to be able to do that. Then requirements management. These are I just try to put them all together. There are more things you will do as a business analyst. Again, it requires you to be educated in any field. I don't care if it's botany, if it's zoology, whatsoever field you are, you can still become a business analyst. A typical day in the life of a business analyst. You see that guy right there? He does a lot of presentation. That's what I do. I do a lot of presentation. Before COVID, I used to go to a lot of board meetings to defend the numbers, explain why the numbers are the way they are and all that. Now, as a business analyst, you will be brainstorming a lot. For those of you in this particular workshop today, you are on our program, a one-on-one program. You know the first time we met, you know how much questions I ask you. And when I was asking you, I was documenting it. And as I'm documenting it, I'm giving you an overview based off what you have answered and tell you, okay, this is what is happening right now. This is what I'm projecting. This is what I feel is going to be happening. It's a lot of brainstorming. When one is talking to you about the requirements, you need to brainstorm about them before you can bring out the solution, before you can advise the company, or before you can advise the team. So be ready. As a business analyst, you have to live a business analytic life, because generally, as a family man, I brainstorm all the time. My wife will always call me a strategist. Yes, now, I need to understand why that thing is being like that. I need to understand why you are doing what you are doing. I need to get an insight why you are going or why you are pulling what you are pulling. I need that understanding. So that is why brainstorming is one thing I do when Monday morning comes. That's how it starts. I start brainstorming. Give an understanding of the organization, business, processes, relevance to the project. That's exactly what I'm saying. If you don't brainstorm after gathering the requirements, you cannot gain that understanding that you need to help the organization. But first thing, you also have to gather the requirements or the insight about the organization to better know what you are going to be brainstorming around. Because when you gather requirements from, let's say, the front end users or new customers, okay, why is this particular concern this way? What is making it that way, or what is it making it changes this way all the time? So you're gonna be like, okay, the company has told me that, okay, this is this, this is that. What exactly has made it that way? Okay, now, all right, let me give some thoughts. I want to speak to so person to be able to make my final call. So again, you will give an understanding of the organization's business processes relevant to the project's goals. So what I'm saying is, you might be working with so many different projects or in so many different projects. Like me, I'm in different projects. Currently, there's a project that I just started that I have to learn Salesforce. I'm learning Salesforce now for me to be able to do that project. And that Salesforce now is allowing me now to be talking to the team that I'm going to be supporting what they need part time. Because if I don't know what they need part time, I won't be able to build the reports or build the dashboard that I will need on the Salesforce platform. So that is why you need to gain that understanding at all times. Work in collaboration with their project managers, whether end users, whether developers, whether product owner, stakeholders, all of them in collaboration, in cooperation, all of them is things that I do daily. Document processes to help refine the problems the project is trying to solve. Like I said, those of you that are in this class right now, we have a one-on-one coaching relationship. You guys know I document a lot. So if you're not this type that documents, business analyst role is not for you. That is the only way you can secure a balance. If you cannot document, if you cannot brainstorm to gaining understanding, if you cannot work as a team, business analyst role is not for you. This one is very important. So a business analyst career, in my opinion, is divided into two. Either it's process analysis or data analysis. I'm going to show you guys on the strict level when we get to the end of this lesson. That's why I told you guys, take the corporate level workshop. Then we'll discuss about, more details. The more processes and data analysis applications you can use, the more efficient a business analyst you will be. So as a business analyst, I want you guys to understand that you'll be dealing with two aspects significantly: processes and data analysis. Why am I saying that? Take, for example, if you are going to be building an application, which business analyst was initially set up, is a role that was set up to help application building, application development, and all that. But gradually they found out that it's far bigger than that. So if you're going to be working with a company that builds application, you won't be dealing with data. So you're just going to be dealing with the processes, software development lifecycle. And then you'll be working with the project manager, with the developers, the testers, then the stakeholders. But if you are working as a data analyst, like what this role I am having right now, I'm a data analyst. 98% of my responsibility is data. The 2% that was processes, they've hired another person to be handling it. And guess what? He uses a different tools like Visio. He uses PowerPoint to do his processes. But you see, in data, I'm using Tableau, I'm using Salesforce now, I'm using SQL, I'm using Power Pivot, I'm using Oracle Power BI. You see the tools I'm mentioning? That's what I'm using in data analytics. And I'll tell you guys the honest truth. If you're looking for a job as a BA, if you look for 10, which we have to practicalize it, I'll show you guys later. If you look for 10, 9 of it will be data-driven. Probably 1 process-driven. So one can choose to process analysis only to pursue as a BA, but not as a data analyst. A data analyst is somebody that models data, integrate data. All he does is juggle, just give him the data, tell him what you want to build, and off you will go. But when you are a business analyst, come on, you're going to be talking, you are on the front lines of the business because you understand what the numbers are saying. You understand the process inside what it's saying. You're able to talk to the stakeholders, you're able to talk to the end users, you're able to talk to the customers. You're like a middle person. The business depends on you because you are on both ends. And that's why your worth is very high up there. They pay you very high. And then you are very resourceful. That's why I love my role. I'm always talking to the stakeholders, talking to the end users. I'm always at the center. So one can choose to be a data analyst only. Yes, if you choose to be a data analyst only, fine. But it is more profiting to be both by being a BA. Interestingly, as a BA, many companies expect data analytics skills from you to function well in your role. That is why I have a lot of data analytic certifications. And then I also have processes, certifications like Agile Scrum. It has nothing to do with data. No, it's a process, it's a framework. Scrum is huge. If you don't know Scrum, I don't think you succeed as a business analyst so well, because Scrum is a framework that is being used by the first 5 top companies in the world. Yes, Scrum. As a business analyst, you need Scrum. All right, so let's see what kind of business analyst we have in the industry. So I hope this thing is recording, guys. Yes, it's recording. No, please. So what are the different business analyst roles in the industry? It's mostly dependent on how the organization assigns the title. You have the IT business analyst role, data business analyst, functional business analyst, business systems analyst, business requirements analyst, business reporting business analyst, business intelligence analyst, business operation analyst. I'm a business operation analyst currently, so they have more, but it all depends on what the organization assigns to the title. It's dependent on some business analysts. You do almost virtually everything, but some will streamline it to help you understand what exactly. In fact, business operation analyst, I think pretty much I do everything in the company. I'm inside all the business. I'm like inside doing everything. Yes. All right. So what is the BA salary range in the industry? Mostly ranging, if it's in the North America and that we are like in the US, ranging from averagely 85 to 100 annually in North America, and it varies in other countries. Sometimes very more. You heard me say more. That's average, but it's more. So it's a good career. Jump on it. All right, so I will have to tell you my little story, how I got in there. So it's story time. I graduated with HND Applied Chemistry, got a job in aviation as a cabin crew, and subsequently trained as a pilot. Notice the transition per time. Now, the reason I'm telling this story is because there are some of you that are already in a particular career and you want to transition. And I want you guys to know that I'm a king of transitioning. When I need to transition, I got to do what I got to do, brother. Yes. So you can transition if you want. It's a choice. When you look at the prospects, why you must transition, like I trained as a pilot. When I looked at how much I was going to be paid as a pilot, it was a turn-off. With so much risk, it was a turn-off for me. And then when I also looked at that, the IT world was building so fast. I was reading a projected statistics as at the time. I noticed that this IT thing is where everybody is going to. Let me start it now and also delve into it. Okay. So it didn't stop there. I looked at the future and I decided to start a new IT related career. And I pitched my tent with a healthcare IT. This was challenging, but it finally paid off. Upon graduation with my master's in health informatics, nobody wanted to hire me. Nobody was going to give me a chance because one, I didn't have experience. Two, I barely didn't have those skill sets that were needed. I just knew that I had a degree. I thought the company was going to train me. So I decided to do several certifications after I found out that before one can secure an interview, let alone a position, there are skill sets you must acquire. So I decided to go on for them. I started with 7 certifications. I did Oracle Foundation and Associate level. I did a BA training. I had to do Lean Six Sigma, the white, yellow, and green belts. I did Agile Scrum Master and Agile Product Owner. All these certifications and some significant packaging landed me 3 offers. So that's my short story about my journey as a BA. So the reason some people will say, oh, you don't need certification, but how do you want to let them know that you've gotten a skill set? How? So those certifications were what sold me out. Anybody asks me, oh, can you do this? Yes, sure, I can. At least it's evidence that I have a certification to back it up. So certification is quite good. And so what do you do? One step at a time. First step is understanding what is involved in starting or transitioning to a BA career, which is exactly what you guys are doing, attending this workshop. And that's going to help you to update your mindset to succeed regardless. It's not going to be easy, guys. When I started going back to school, when they were teaching me database, that was Access, Microsoft Access, it was SQL. I was struggling. When I did some cybersecurity courses, networking, I was struggling with those courses, but I didn't have a choice but to do it because I had to commit my heart to knowing it. Remember, success is in you, not in the place. So regardless wherever you are, you can do it. So first thing first step at a time. You see the guy climbing that steps, one step at a time. When you know and you have an understanding, you've gathered the requirements of what it takes you to be a PA, one step at a time. Just update your mindset that, okay, it's not going to be easy, but I can do it. That should be your mindset. Consciously and strategically create a strategy to succeed as a business analyst. Your strategy needs a strategy. It's actually a book. So you need a strategy. Everything that I do, I have a strategy. That's why my wife is always calling me a strategist. And I'll tell you that 95% or 98%, I barely don't fail when I plan to do something. Then I've taken my time to gather the requirements, to brainstorm, to strategize before I set it on motion. So you need a strategy. So my number one personal strategy is to obtain data and process-related trainings. You guys can see that. CBAP, Agile Scrum, Agile Kanban, PMP, Jira, Confluence, Visio, Application Life Man. These are all for processes. There are more. I just mentioned a couple of them. Remember I told you guys, it's either processes or data. Now, some people will just do PMP, and then they can do Agile Scrum and Kanban. This should be Kanban, not Kanban. Anyway, sorry about that. And they build it as, so with that, you can manage data team, you can manage processes team, because it's more of a project management responsibility. Now, you can choose to do data analytic or data analysis trainings, Power BI, Tableau, Excel, Oracle, PeopleSoft, Salesforce. They are all data related tools. You know, I didn't mention all of them. There are more. SaaS, Microsoft Access, AWS Business Analytic, Python. They are all data analytic trainings. First thing first, you need to take those trainings and then go on for the certifications. Me, I'm a big fan of the big names when it comes to certification. I don't just do any certification. If it doesn't have a big name, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. The reason being that these people, they have a name, they have integrity. So when you take them, employer and HR, hiring managers will see them on your resume. They will show some respect and want to talk to you. So first step first, know which part you want to take. If you want to be like Wilfred, a little here, you're good. Yeah, a little here, you strike a balance, you're good. All right. The second step, like I said, go for the certifications. Very important. You can see I actually put the big names over there. This is a very important strategy, which is my third strategy, networking. I'm sure I've never met any of you. We network ourselves on social media, and here we are doing things. Some of you who've been on this journey like over a year, some almost a year plus. You know, you have to network the professionals in the industry. That's how you learn every day. That's how you can succeed faster. That's how you can better understand where you are going to as a business analyst. Asking questions, finding out, some of your concerns so that you can better make an informed and optimized decision. Very, very important. So, okay. So, that's a very good question. Somebody's asking, if I may ask, what's the average amount of money for a certification? It varies. It depends on which one you want to do. When I was doing Power BI, I think I paid 200 and something dollars. If you are doing Scrum Alliance, for example, if you are taking any Scrum Alliance course, Scrum Alliance is the first Scrum. Is the founder of Scrum. There was none of my Scrum certifications that I paid less than $1,300. But because of COVID, you can get it for $500 now. So it can be a little bit expensive. Yes. Some of the Microsoft certifications I did, one, the first foundation for Oracle SQL I did was $125. I think the second one was a little bit higher. I can't remember. When I did Lean Six Sigma, I spent $450. I can remember the white, the yellow, the green. I spent $455 or $45. Yes, it depends. So we will explore that. I will show you guys that at the end of those are some of the, like I said, street things that I will show you guys. All right. So very important. All right. Interview. Prepping for interview. My friends, interview is one thing you need to prep for as a business analyst, just like any other job. If you're going to become a BA in the US, you will do 3 interviews. Each of them, you spend 1 hour. Of course, you see that money I showed you guys that you're going to be paid as a BA in the US. You think they'll just give it to you? You got to prove what you know, what you're bringing to the table. It's always an intense thing. That's why in Zeed Worldwide, we train people for this. At Zeed, I'll show you how to do your resume. I'll show you BA questions. These are resources I paid for. I learned them. I used them. It worked. So I share it. I train people. I prep you for the interview. I fix your resume that will allow people to call you for the interviews. And I show you how to apply for a BA jobs. This is one strategy that is very important for you to come into hard. Your resume, I just spoke about it already. Another strategy is to optimize your resume and your LinkedIn profile. Oh my God. I won't, but share this testimony. So my wife and myself attended the same college. We have the same skill set. She's focused on the processes side. I am caught in between. So shortly before she came out of her maternity leave at the time, she was going to get a job because when we finished school, then she was heavily pregnant. So shortly when she was about getting the job, COVID got into it. So during the COVID season, she did some couple of certifications. So I needed her to update and optimize her resume and LinkedIn. So she got a little bit busy and there were things that did not allow her to get it on time. So I was always on her because I'm not a big fan of doing stuff for you. I can guide you, I can coach you to do it, but doing it for you, I don't believe in that. I'm not helping you. I want to show you how to fish, but not to fish for you. And that's my wife. I don't do it for her. So I remembered this particular Monday, I checked her resume in the morning before I was stepping out for work. I noticed she hasn't updated it. So I told her, babe, we got to update that today. So she updated that LinkedIn page that Monday. On Wednesday, one of the big boss of the company that called her for the interview profiled her on Wednesday, and on Thursday, they called her for interview in that company. She didn't know what it meant. So when she showed me that they called her for the interview, it's a big company, good one at that. And then I went to profile and checked her. I said, you see the guy here? The guy is a director, was profiling her. If you don't optimize your LinkedIn, you're not ready to do a BA job or any other professional career. No. Your resume and your LinkedIn profile got to be on point. And there is a way to attract recruiters, hiring managers, the stakeholders to noticing you. Very important. So I have this one of those that I had applied to be in this workshop. She asked me this question: do I need any of the IIBA certification to be a BA? And I told her, no, you don't need it. I don't have any of them. Because their certifications are not frequently asked by recruiters and companies. I'll show you guys. Yes, IIBA is a top body. It's based in Canada. International Institute of Business Analysis. These are their certifications, possibly more. But you don't need it because it's kind of, I'll say I don't know how to explain it. Instead of spending so much on this, why don't you do data analysis that every company in the whole wide world will be looking for you? When we go to the point where I'll show you guys when you search for a job, you won't see any of them. They're not being asked. No, not at all. They don't ask. Can I take a basic BA training outside of IIBA vendors? Absolutely. That's what I did. To take an IIB training from that, IIBA vendor-related trainings, you're looking at almost $2,000, $3,000. And with that, I probably have done all my certification and I'll still have change. Cheaper vendors like Udemy, Suleka, YouTube itself, you're good to go. Those are the resources I use. All right, so that was the last slide. At this point, I need to take some few questions and answer, and then I'll stop the recording. And then I'll proceed to the next phase of this training, which is the street part of my training. I'm always putting that aside because I have to share some personal things I have done with you guys, and I don't want to record them and send to you. Thank you. So any question, you can unmute yourself and ask me as much questions as possible.
Thank you, Fred, for this session. My question is, for a data analyst, can you give us a hierarchy of course, a sequential way of taking these courses? The first one first, so that you're able to not to fall in place or taking relevant course that won't help you at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, the first thing you do as a data analyst, that's data analyst too, whether it's data or business analyst, there's one tool you must know above intermediate: Excel. You need to know Excel very well. A lot of functions in Excel will do a lot of stuff for you. It's just that after a certain limit of data, it's kind of drags. Excel is the number one thing. And now, when you're not working anywhere, you don't know which company will hire you and what skill sets they will require you to do. But there is another common tool in data analysis that is, when we get to the next phase, I'll show you guys. SQL. You can't handle data without knowing how to query very well, because the query language will allow you to just select just one line. It will pull out the data for you. Select from all those command language to do SQL. It will tell you, it will pull out a bulk of it. If you want to do that on Excel, it drags. So a lot of data analytic will always require you to be SQL savvy. Now, I noticed that in Nigeria, for example, people don't really talk about Tableau. Tableau is good. It's mostly used. I barely don't see data analytic in Nigeria talking about Salesforce. I'm not sure they do use it over there. Salesforce. These are tools you use to build dashboards, build reporting, and all that. And I'm in healthcare domain right now. I use Epic too. Epic is a healthcare electronic health record, and then I have to combine it with those other tools that I'm sharing with you that my company is using. So depending on what the company is using, you need to learn those tools. But prior to getting a job, you want to learn as many as you can. Like for me, like I said, I had to do Agile, do SQL, do product owner, do Lean Six Sigma. I was even taking more of the processes than more of the analytics. So the analytic basically I had to improve on my Excel every single day. And then I had to also study the SQL, Oracle SQL to write the certification to better now allow me to put it on my resume and start hunting for jobs. So I will tell you the number one again is Excel. Take your Excel above intermediate. Understand your pivot table like the back of your hand. Pivot table on Excel. I build dashboards on pivot table like anything. Dashboards, yes, dashboards, very very important. I hook it up with the SQL Server. I populate. I kind of load. I don't know how to explain them. You do a lot of ETLs. Currently I've learned a lot of application because my company acquired more businesses and they were using different electronic health records. I had to learn those electronic records. I know how to pull data out from their reporting workbench and load it into a different platform to better visualize it. So it's a lot of work. So, but the most foundation, like I've said, if you have those foundations, if you can do like Microsoft Power BI, great. But if you do Microsoft Power BI, you also need to know how to load data from Excel to Power BI or from Tableau server or SQL server. You still need all those tools to connect it to Power BI to be able to visualize, which is the major thing Power BI will allow you to do. After you have analyzed them, then you want to visualize them. So you can start from anywhere, but the number one thing is your Excel. Excel as a data analyst. Any other question, guys? Don't be shy. You want me to call you guys by name? We're all guys here. Talk. All right. So don't be shy. Let me take you guys where you will talk. So I'm going to stop this recording.